2, section 4.6, on the four fallen natures. The primary characteristics of the fallen nature can be divided broadly into four types. The first is failing to take God's standpoint. A principal cause of the archangel's fall was his failure to love Adam with the same heart and perspective as God. Instead, he felt jealous of Adam. This led him to tempt Eve. An example of this characteristic of the fallen nature is when a courtier feels jealous of the king's favorite, instead of sincerely respecting him as one whom the king loves. The second is leaving one's proper position. Seeking more of God's love, Lucifer desired to enjoy the same position of love in the human world as he had in the angelic world. This unrighteous desire caused him to leave his position and fall. People are induced by unrighteous desires to step beyond the bounds of what is right and overreach themselves because of this primary characteristic of the fallen nature. The third is reversing dominion. The angel, who was supposed to come under the dominion of human beings, instead dominated Eve. Then Eve, who was supposed to come under the dominion of Adam, dominated him instead. This disruption of the proper order has borne bitter fruit. Human society is thrown out of order by people who leave their proper position and reverse the order of dominion. These repeated occurrences are rooted in this primary characteristic of the fallen nature. The fourth fallen nature is multiplying the criminal act. After her fall, had Eve not repeated her sin by seducing Adam, Adam would have remained whole. The restoration of Eve alone would have been relatively easy. However, Eve spread her sin to others by inducing Adam to fall. The proclivity of evil people to entangle others in an expanding web of crime stems from this primary characteristic of the fallen nature. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. And to our guest servant today, let's welcome up Reverend Miller.
Let's, yeah, maybe a mic stand would be good. Mic stand, please. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Good. I'm here to preach fire and brimstone today, so get your seatbelts on. Because somewhere in the Black Mountains, Dakota, lived a young boy named Rocky Raccoon. One day he was rolling right off with another guy. Get young Rocky and Rocky didn't like that, so we get that. Sorry, that's a Beatles song, that's one of my favorites. Rocky.
Yeah.
Very religious song. Somebody else sing it for you. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That's good, that's good. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Since yesterday was the anniversary, the 43rd anniversary of True Father's speech at Navy Stadium. Therefore, I'd like to read a very short passage from that, just as because it's, in my opinion, perhaps one of the most profound religious speeches in human history. It sets out a very clear explanation of why America exists, why God blessed America, and what is God's hope for America and the world. It is truly God, however, who is supremely selfless, supremely public-minded. When mankind rebelled against God, he did not take revenge, he forgave. And God has been working tirelessly to raise sinful men up out of sin to salvation. To do this, God sent his only Son, Jesus Christ. Even at the cost of sacrificing his Son, God wanted to save the world. God erected Israel as the chosen nation. The purpose of the chosen nation is also to save the world. And God raised up Christianity for the same purpose, to save the world. Bible says in John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. Remember that the world is God's world. And just as Jesus willingly gave his life so that the world might live, God wanted all Christians to be willing to give themselves for the salvation of the world. However, today Christians of the world are not even close to realizing the heart of God. God seeks to build one family of men. Therefore, the family, church, and nation that God desires transcends all barriers of race and nationality. The people who are unified, blending all colors of skin, and who transcend race and nationality, are the most beautiful in the sight of God and most pleasing to him. Amen? Achu?
Achu.
Achu. So, I want to talk about, I want to talk about fallen nature, but I actually want to talk about original life. But I'm going to start by talking about fallen nature. We all have heard the divine principle. It talks about people take action, God's ideal. It talks about, in chapter 2, the fall and the 4 fallen natures. And we always think, yeah, that's bad. I don't want to do those things. That's not me. I'm not going to do those things. But fallen nature is something that we're born with. Most of us, well, less children are less born with it. But still, the world is suffused with fallen nature, which makes life difficult. It makes life confusing. It makes us question our very existence. And even when we think we're doing the right thing, we can easily be doing the wrong thing without even thinking about the fact that we're doing the wrong thing. Because, you know, as our dear elder brother, Reverend Ken Sudik, used to say, in the world which is completely all green, there's no word for the color green, because it's all just one color. So the world of fallen nature, there's no concept oftentimes in our mind of fallen nature, because it's just what it is. So I want to point out a couple things today to help myself and all of you figure out how to deal with fallen nature. Now, one thing is, when I'm giving a sermon, I know some people like to think, what do these people need to hear? What sins are they committing? What are they doing wrong? What do they need to make their lives more godly? I'm not that kind of guy. When I give sermons, when I do, I'm actually speaking to myself. What do I need to hear? What do I need to remember to be doing a better job in my life? So, number one, first of all, nature, what is it? Failure to take God's point of view. And we all know that. And we say, yeah, I want to take God's point of view. But what is God's point of view? It's a very important question. How can we take God's point of view if we don't know what it is? Well, let's think about what is God. According to the principle, God is our parent. So what is God's point of view? It is a parental point of view. God's point of view is the point of view of a parent. As the Father said in the speech, when mankind sinned, God did not condemn them, he forgave them and began working immediately to try to restore them. If you are a parent, and if you're a good parent, even when your children disobey you or do something wrong, your purpose is not and should not be to smash the crap out of your kids. The purpose of being a good parent, or the heart of a parent, is always to uplift your children. So even if you have to discipline them, it's not for the purpose of crushing them, but it's for the purpose of educating them, helping them to become a better person. I have a very poignant story regarding the first 2 children, my oldest 2 children, Godfrey, the eldest, and Roderick, who's here today. When they were, they were about 3 years apart. When Godfrey was maybe 7, Roderick was 4, they were really sometimes very troubling munchkins. Troublesome. They would get into the fights a lot. They just loved to torture each other. So one day when I was pastor in Manhattan back in 92, 52 or something. I was trying to study, I was trying to prepare a sermon or something out of Thursday, and the two of them kept fighting, kept squabbling. And so I said, would you two stop fighting? It's really not good for you, and it's annoying me. Please stop. Okay. 5 minutes later, start fighting again. Pushing and shoving. And would you please stop it? I'm not going to ask you again. If I ask you again, there's going to be trouble. 5 minutes later, fighting. Okay, that's it. I said, get over here. I have to spank you now. I said, no, I want to tell you something. I don't want to spank you. It is not my desire. I want to just love you, but you disobeyed me 3 times, and that is not permissible. It is not allowed. So bend over. Bend over and spanked him. And then I hugged him. I said, I want you to know, I did that because I love you, and I have to keep my word. If I make a promise to you, I have to keep it. So I want you to know I love you. I'll go to bed. So I sent him to the bedroom. About 5 minutes later, I hear this mumbling in the bedroom. 2 of them talking. I thought, oh no, I don't want to have to do this again. But the door opens and they come creeping out of the bedroom. And they said, Daddy, we're sorry, we didn't want to make you unhappy. And they killed me. They did a full kill. The tears started flowing because I was so touched. I was so touched because of their filial piety and love. But the point is, they understood my heart was not to hurt them. My heart was to educate them and make them better brothers. That is the heart of God, the heart to uplift His children, not to crush His children. So, what does that mean for us in daily life? Well, yes, we can see it with our children. We don't want to hurt our children. We want to love them, forgive them. But with other people, we forget about that. Somebody does something to us, and immediately, oh, I didn't like that. This person really, it really makes me angry. I'm really upset with them. And so, all the fallen natures follow from that. We want to leave our position as a brother or a friend. We want to strike out. We want to reverse the dominion and put this person in their place. We're angry. We feel upset with them. And even if we don't act on those things, that's going on inside here. It's going around and around. Why did that person do that? Why did that person do that? I'm so angry at that person for doing that thing. Is that God's position? Is that God's point of view? Most of the time, no, it's not. Many times when somebody's a troublemaker of some sort in your life, they have problems. Oftentimes people have serious problems. Even little Adolf Hitler at 4 years old didn't start saying, I want to grow up and kill millions of people and destroy the world. No, I'm sure little Adolf Hitler said, I want to play games with my friends. And I want to... But his parents were Austrian, sort of German. I guess parents didn't love him all that much, so something went wrong. But the point is, a lot of people, we get to be adults and we still have issues inside. And when we're dealing with one another, we don't see the background of those issues. We only see the foreground, the immediate actions. And we tend to be very judgmental. Why is that person doing that to me? They shouldn't be doing that. That is a bad person. But I've found that sometimes people who are the troublemakers, we don't know what kind of burdens they're bearing. For all we know, from God's point of view, they might be saints. They might be doing 10 times better than God expected them to do. We have no idea. Again, Reverend Katsuri used to say, Jesus was like a polished mirror. People looked at him and they saw themselves in him. So, Jesus looked bad. I mean, if you stop and think about Jesus, his life, think about it, Jesus' life. He was born from an illicit relationship, at least that's what it looked like to the people. His mother was not married when she was conceived. He was poor. His parents didn't love him that much. His father, Joseph, didn't care for him too much. He was untutored, unlettered. Somehow he learned to read. He could read the Torah, the scriptures, but somehow he was ignorant. And he did all the wrong things. He hung out with prostitutes and sinners. He ate, did things on the Sabbath day you weren't supposed to do. He violated all the laws. He was a bad person. He did everything contrary to what the Jews expected of a holy man, particularly of the Messiah. So when they looked at Jesus, they said, he's a very bad person. And he's getting followers on top of that. He's going to cause trouble for us. So they judged him according to what they thought was good, what they thought was God. They killed him. The point is, they were completely wrong. They saw evil in him. You think about Reverend Moon, true parents, back in the 70s and 80s, the stories about true parents, how evil they are, the cult leader trying to destroy the world. Because no one could believe that anyone could be that selfless to give his whole life and everything he did to try to make a better world. Yes, true parents, through fundraising and through different businesses, they raised billions of dollars. But they didn't spend it on themselves. They spent it on FFWP, Women's Federation, ICUS, the International Conference on the Science. They spent billions of dollars on other people and other things. No one could believe it. And so they judged Reverend Moon to be a Hitler, a sinner, a terrible person. We can look at that and say, yeah, they really made a big mistake. But we should not make the same mistake in dealing with our brothers and sisters. We say that, it's God is our parent. We should have one human family, all brothers and sisters. But I'm here to tell you today, brothers and sisters is not enough. Cain and Abel were brothers. What happened there? It wasn't good. If we want to transcend resentment and anger and hatred and murder, we need to have the heart of a parent. We need to look at each other with a parental heart, parental eye. Now, here's the thing. You can say, yeah, Reverend Miller, that's all well and good, but I got this coworker who's a real piece of work, and they're always doing this to me and that to me. I'm not saying you have to like the person even. I mean, it's good if you can learn to like them, but you don't have to approve their behavior, but you have to try to understand, well, how does God see this person? What's making them so crazy or so different? I'll tell you something else. Give and take, gratification, give and take action. It's true, it works. We are going to reap what we sow. If we sow elements of good vibrations, if we have good vibrations, and that's what we transmit to the world, more often than not, that's what we're going to receive. One time, there was a very interesting story years ago. My wife and I moved into an apartment, and somebody else had been sort of removed prematurely, and that person was very angry at us. It wasn't our fault. We had nothing to do with it. We were like innocent bystanders. But after we moved in, I noticed there was some problem. There was some sort of ghost in my kid's bedroom, and like attacking scaring the crap out of us. Yeah, I saw a samurai warrior, and there were like worms coming out of his stomach, and he looked really bad. And I wholly saw through the room, and nothing worked. So finally I said, okay, I gotta figure out what's going on here. So one night, I went into his bedroom, and he just sat there quietly. And I just tried to open my sentence, okay, who's here? What do you want? Why are you haunting my child? Why are you scaring him? And I felt this sort of samurai spirit. But I also immediately saw the face of the sister who lived in that room before. I thought, so it is, I see, she's really upset. And she blames us, even though it wasn't. We were really innocent bystanders. So I spent the next hour praying to this sister. I actually prayed to her. I said, sister, we're not your enemy. We love you very much. And we're very sorry that you got sort of evicted from your room prematurely. We're love you. We love you. We really care about you. We really wish you all the best. I did that for like an hour. She worked nearby. The next day, I saw her. When I walked past her, she smiled at me. And it was all chill. It was all cool. And the ghost never came back. In other words, when you have a bad feeling towards someone and you dwell on that, what you're doing is you're creating give and take action. Even if you don't say anything to that person, you are creating negative give and take energy. And you are broadcasting this to the cosmos. And that person, without even talking to you, is going to feel it. Yeah, he hates me. Well, I hate her too. This happens. And so we wonder, I can't stand that person. Why are they so mean to me? Well, why are you hating them? You know, somewhere, in order to change the world from evil to good, somebody has to break the negative, break the circuit. I know if you know Chris Bush here, you've undoubtedly heard him talk about negative self-talk at some point. If you love to talk about it, it's good. I totally believe negative self-talk. You are having give and take negatively with yourself, convincing yourself that you're a piece of crap and you're going to fail. And so you do. And the way to change that is to have positive self-talk. No, I'm awesome. I'm really awesome. And I'm going to do this awesome stuff. Exactly. You know? The point is, even if you sometimes fail, you'll still feel better about yourself. And eventually you'll succeed. And the same thing with people. So what I'm talking about here, reversing the first fallen nature and the second fallen nature, is we are reversing the fall in ourselves. And even if it doesn't always work, even if that coworker still treats you badly, at least you feel better about yourself. The thing that hurts most when you're feeling negative and resentful, the thing that's most destructive are those feelings. You know, you can hate bad people all you want. They're not going to care. They're going to just feel more hatred toward you. But the worst of it is, you will feel terrible. Now, sometimes you can't do anything about it. You have a bad situation. My daughter's going through a situation like this where her boss is psycho. Like, they're not kidding. Really psycho. They're really messed up. So we advised her, and she advised herself, I got to cut loose here. I got to get out of here because this is no dealing with this person. I won't go into details. It's bad. I mean, her boss is like, whoo. Okay, it's a woman. It's a really psycho woman. Anyway. So, the first fallen nature, failure to take God's point of view, which leads to the second fallen nature, which is all this negative give and take, internally, externally. You know, people think, oh, second fallen nature, living position, that's fallen man, that's sex. The fallen man was not about sex originally. Ultimately it was. But it was originally about feeling lack of love. It was feeling depressed, feeling sad. So when we feel depressed because someone doesn't love us, I feel bad. I don't like that person. And then we start thinking in ways which will lead to the third fallen nature, which is, I gotta strike that person down. We gotta do something to hurt that person. Now, I'm sure that we don't think about it in those terms most of the time. Husbands and wives, you fight sometimes. Sure, everybody does. You sit in your room, your corner, or your, my husband is such a. Well, how do you think they feel when you're just channeling all this negative crap toward them? They're sitting there feeling the same thing, like, yeah, well, I'm going to teach that. I'm going to teach her. I'm going to do this. No, but that doesn't solve anything. That makes the situation worse. It compounds evil with evil. So I think, for me, before I go on to what I'm saying, the fourth fallen nature is the multiplication of evil. Something bad happens, so then they do more bad. And some woman was complaining the other day about the church is not doing enough for my children. I don't like the church. I don't like this. What are you doing for your children? So she's saying we shouldn't have all this stuff about, you know, moral values, positive sex education. Like, we shouldn't. Yeah, it's unrealistic. No. This person has failed with their child, so they want everyone to fail. So why? Why do you want everyone to fail? Because then I don't look so bad. If everyone's failing, then I'm just part of the group. Like, I'm okay. See, God, I'm just like everybody else. That is the fourth law of nature. And sometimes we want other people. We want to spread our negativity. We want to say negative things to people. Oh, so-and-so is really bad. We should gang up on that person because they're really bad. No, we have to love. And Jesus said, love your enemy. How many times should you forgive your brother? 7 times? Jesus said, no, 70 times 7. Endlessly forgive. Forgive, love, unite. To do that, we have to change our heart. And here's the key. Here's the main focus of my thought today. The only way to have God's point of view is to really get in touch with our original mind. So before I started the sermon, I was chanting, this is like something like, you empty yourself out. It's just like, I have nothing. I have no desire. If we can empty our heart and mind, you don't have to chant. It's probably a bad thing. I don't know. Anyway, but whatever it takes to sit back and say, okay, I'm really upset with this person, but maybe they didn't mean things the way it turned out. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Maybe I need to step back and think about this person from God's point of view. And it's amazing when you really stop and think and just try to be peaceful, empty. The Father said you should think of your heart as a very calm lake at evening time. It's completely still, completely flat. No ripples, no nothing. Just have your mind and heart completely flat and still. And then you can feel what's right and what's wrong. You can feel what's good and what's bad. You can feel God's point of view toward people. So, I love my wife very much. Sometimes we disagree. Sometimes we misunderstand each other. But when I stop and think peacefully, what is my wife? Who is she? She's really the most innocent daughter of God I've ever met. She's very, very sensitive, loving daughter of God. Sometimes she's a little crazy, but that's true of all of us. We're all a little crazy sometimes. We all, get excited, get emotional, do things. I mean, I'm not judging, believe me. If anybody's crazy in the family, me. So, don't misunderstand me here. I'm probably the craziest person in our family. But, Roderick pretty much challenged me. So. But no, the thing is, if we have a heart, a very peaceful heart, we can actually stop and think, how does God think about this person? Whether it's your husband, your wife, your children, your co-worker, how does God see this person? And if you're really, really calm and peaceful inside, you can feel what God feels. If we can do that, then we can change the negative give and take within ourselves and between ourselves and others. If we don't do that, then we're just another lousy religion with holy juice, this and that, and the other thing. I'm not putting it down. Holy juice is great, But what I'm saying is, if that's all we are, it's just people giving out. What do they do in the Middle Ages? Indulgences. We're just giving out indulgences to the world. And just say, just take this stuff, you'll all be all better. No, we're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to be another religion which fails because we don't change anything. If we want to be people of God, I have to start by changing myself. There's no other way. Peace starts with me. You know what says? Peace starts with me. It doesn't start with Donald Trump or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or anybody. It starts with me. And only when I can liberate my own heart, only then can I be an example to others. Sometimes people need to get swat upside the head. Maybe they do. But it's got to be from God's point of view. As what, how many of you know Jose Durst? Jose Durst, yeah. He said the big difference between God and Satan is when Satan attacks you, his purpose is to crush you and destroy you. When God chastises you, his purpose is to uplift you. So even if we think someone needs kick in the butt sometimes, it has to be done with love. It can't be done with a desire to destroy. If we can get in touch with our original minds, and it's possible, I'm telling you it's possible. This is, I think, one of the things about the foundation age era is that God is much more present now than ever before. It doesn't look like it. Outside it looks like just chaos. Just the world is chaos. Hatred. I don't even watch the news anymore. I mean, I can't. Because every side is crazy. Right, every side is just attack. Like, how does that help anything? We have to be the people who have a different approach to life. And that is what parents give. And that is the solution to all the problems. My son was saying, Dad, it's so hard though. The world is so crazy. What can we do? Well, peace starts with me. If I can change myself, I can be an example to others. If we can give up the negative self-talk toward ourselves and toward others, if we can give up the negative vibrations and get those good vibrations, good emotions toward other people, then we can begin to restore the world substantially. And I think that's a good thing for all of us. Amen?
Amen.
I do?
I do.
Okay, please join me in prayer. Beloved, loving parent, our true Heavenly Father and Mother, we thank you for all your blessings and pray that we can do your will today and every day. I thank you for all my beautiful brothers and sisters who are here today. I pray that our time together will be really beneficial to all of us, and we can take your teachings and your words to heart and apply them to our lives every day. And through that, I pray that we can begin to establish a better world and really support and protect and defend our true parents and all that they fought for. Thank you for this time together, and I pray your blessing on everyone here. We pray this in the room here, in the name of Wayne and Mary Miller, bless them for the family.
I do.